everyone, welcome to the Finds of Yesterday jewelry channel, and today I'm talking about all the pieces I found at the sales I went to this past weekend. There was some pretty stuff out there and I got a hold of quite a bit, and it ranged from thrift stores to yard sales to a rummage sale to a flea market. I found lots of goodies at a lot of these different places, so I'm not going to go through everything because I found so much, but I'm going to pick and choose some pieces to show you and share some details with you. And these are all the necklaces that I found. Here is some more gorgeous pieces. And then up there, that's all the necklaces. And let's just start over here. This piece right here what is an amber piece, and all these were fairly inexpensive. If they weren't, I will tell you. So this you can tell is amber. You can see the little roughness on some of the edges of the pieces. And also, if you look on the inside, you'll see floating in this are some tree remains, like tree pieces, like little seeds or even little sticks, little things are inside of this. And they're not very heavy. It's actually somewhat lightweight for this piece, for how big it is. But it's just a nice amber piece. And that, I'm going to just throw out prices because I need to research first. I kind of have an idea, but I will do a detailed research before I actually put a price on it. So that one I would probably list at 65. That's the first number that pops out in my mind, but again, give or take. It might be over 100, it might be 40. It's just hard to say. This is a lovely mother of pearl piece, and you can see the different variations that you would see like in a pearl. And these are all cut in heart shapes, and it's graduated, which makes it a really nice, interesting piece. And I thought I would pick that up with no problem. I should be able to sell that for around 25 maybe to 35. And here's a lovely, I always love these AB crystals, and this is separated by little gold beads. I'm going to show you a different one here. This one has this gorgeous clasp on it, and you can see they're kind of teardrop shaped beads, and they're iridescent, but it's got these green peridot colored bicone beads. The little pointed beads in the middle, that's called bicone. And it's got some, looks like atlas beads, these clear kind of they're kind of frosted looking. That is called an atlas bead. They are made on long rods and cut into small pieces. Them are some gorgeous pieces that I'll probably sell for 35. The one with the clasp on it, I think I can get more, so maybe 40. And this one's a nice modern gold tone, long, heavy, chunky chain. And let's see what, it has a spring ring clasp on it. This looks like it could be either modern or vintage, and I'm going to call it vintage because it has the spring ring clasp. You're not going to see the lobster claw clasp on a 1950s piece. It reminds me of mid-century modern. Again, this is something I could see being made today too, so kind of have to be careful with how you word that. I love this piece. Look at them. This is all lightweight acrylic. If this was glass, this would sell for good money, but it's just acrylic. But it's still a fun, I would say, bib style necklace. And I'd probably put 25 to 35 on it, just because it's so fun and unique. And it has the spring ring clasp. It is vintage. And we got some glass beaded. Here's some freshwater pearls. You can see none of them are the same shape, same size. And it has this lovely bow box clasp on it. That tells me it's vintage, I believe. These are some fun gold foiled beads. You can still see a similar style today, but I believe this one is vintage. It is heavy. Glass is always heavier. And we also have, look at these lovely beads. I just love that. And these bar links on gold tone, you can see how it's kind of faded. This is a vintage piece. It has the spring ring clasp on it. And I see these kind of beads on older pieces. I do tend to pick up lockets. This one is not sterling or gold. I think it was gold plated at one time, but it's really coming off. And it's usually a spring ring clasp on the other end. That is a vintage piece. Let's hop over here. This is a pretty piece. This is just glass. And I believe this is Avon. Avon did a lot of the little seed pearls. Let's see, does it say Avon? Yes, it's Avon. And it's on a nice double Rollo chain. And these right here, this purple and the red one, are thermoset. This one, see how it kind of has a little bit of a, like a glow to it? It's not really moon glow, it's just thermoset. And this one's more of a flat thermoset, flat colored thermoset. Them are some nice ones. I tend to pick them up a lot. This style right here, Napier was known for, Monet, kind of have them same styles around that mid-century modern time to the 60s and 70s. This one is a Monet. Yes, Monet. And I always sell these. It does have a little bit of gold tone wear, so the more gold it is, the better it's going to sell, obviously. But this one should be able to still get $25, $30 out of it. And here's a nice gold tone chain. These I just tend to pick up a lot. And here's a nice, this is 2 necklaces actually, but it has some amethyst in it. And I'm questioning whether these are real pearls or not. They kind of look like it, but I think I'm going to test them to see if they're glass. None of them are the same shape, which is a good sign. And if they put amethyst with it, you never know, it could be real pearls. And over in this box, here's one of my favorites. I did pay up for this piece a little bit, but gosh, how pretty is that? It's kind of a modern look to it. And it has the opalite beads, which kind of have this frosted blue. They look like an opal, but they're glass. And it looks like some freshwater pearls here on that little layer there. And this lovely glass. This is all on sterling silver. And it sits on the neck like this. So it's kind of a asymmetrical piece. It's a really interesting piece to me. I love that. And here's some pretty glass beads. This one was interesting. I picked it up just because Christmas is coming, and this reminds me of the candy, the Christmas candy. And it has this lovely box clasp on it. I believe it's made in Hong Kong. Yes, Hong Kong. And it's really, really lightweight and full of layers. That one probably maybe 25. Here's another lovely piece. This is just more modern, but it has some like dyed, either dyed mother of pearl or some type of shell with all these different colored glass beads. What a pretty glass beaded necklace. This one has a tassel on the end of these cat's eye beads. Let me turn it around for you. And these green, trying Trying to decide what they are. Just green glass square chip beads. Yeah, they're glass. It's a really cool piece, just different. I couldn't believe I found this Honora pearl necklace. It's just one strand, freshwater pearls. They're fairly large, but comes in the original box. Couldn't pass that up. And here we have, this is my favorite piece of the day. This is like a Alexandrite looking, it's a glass, but it has that beautiful purple and blue sparkle. And there's no missing rhinestones. Look at that. That is just simply gorgeous. And it has the matching earrings, which are clip. This one I'm going to put a good price on because probably a higher price. Because I don't see this color very often with that almost like color changing glass. That's what it looks like. Here's a nice little Avon piece. That's probably a $20 necklace. And here's some more choker, I call them choker necklaces, more or less from the 50s and 60s. And it's got little faux pearls and AB rhinestones. So this one wouldn't have been created until after 1955 or 56 because of the AB rhinestones in it, since they weren't invented till 56. And then up here we have, here's a pretty Milli Fiore necklace. This looks pretty modern, like they still make these type of beads. Look at the heart, it's full of Milli Fiore flowers. And that is just the type of glass rods that they used. And this has a, I think a barrel clasp. Yep, there's a round barrel clasp on it. And this one right here is a Trifari piece. Now I'm not saying this is going to sell for a lot just because it has the Trifari name, but it's just a nice solid piece. It looks like it needs to be cleaned up some. And it's a couple layers and it's just a nice piece. And I'll probably sell that for $25, $30. A lot of these are $25, $30 range. This one is also a Trifari piece. And I like how they used a lot of different size pearls on this. These are faux pearls. But this is an interesting piece to me just because of that. I don't recall seeing the multi-size pearls before. And would you have picked this one up? This pink one? I almost passed it up because I thought it was plastic and I thought it was from Hong Kong, or so I don't pick all of them up. But at the last minute, as I was standing there to pay for my stuff, I seen this laying there, and I grabbed it and looked at it real quick. These are glass beads. These are faux pearls. They are Baroque faux pearls. But I looked at the name. I seen there was a hang tag on it, and it's a Miriam Haskell. I couldn't believe it. Anytime I see Miriam Haskell, I will pick it up. And I don't care if it's as simple as this necklace, which I can't flip it over. So here's the Miriam Haskell tag, the oval hang tag. And if you flip it over, it's reversed. So that gives it an older age. I'll put the dates on the screen because I have to look it up again. And then it's also on this little tag here. One side says patent pending, the other side says Miriam Haskell. So I will pick these up anytime. And I'm going to put up here on the screen some of the comps for her. Just pull up Miriam Haskell necklace and you'll see what her stuff sells for. It doesn't matter what kind of necklace, it brings back good money. And of course the prices are all over the place. They're going to range from $35 to who knows what, couple thousand. But this is a very simple necklace. It's obviously going to be on the lower end, but it's still, lower end is like $30, $35, maybe $40. So that's the necklaces. I'm going to pull the brooches down and start with them. So here's the rest of the items that I got this weekend. And we have brooches and earrings and a couple miscellaneous items. Start over here. This is a fun little, looks like a jellyfish to me. I just sold one of these and I think it was $35, $40, somewhere in there. It's a nice piece. Here's an interesting little bar pin thing. It's a little brooch. That came in a bag of other stuff. And this one looks like Florenza to me, but it's not marked. Or it could be West Germany, but it's not marked at all, so I'm not going to say either way unless I find a tiny mark on it somewhere. Which, these are pretty sought after, the gold filigree. I would say I could probably sell this for $30 to $35. Here's a nice carnelian brooch. For some reason I'm attracted to carnelian. And see how the pin extends past the end? That makes it a little bit older. They say sometimes the pins can be from the early 1900s, but they were made all the way up to supposedly till the 70s with some with that extension. You might see them more in artisan pieces. Here's a beautiful green, kind of a bar style brooch, or flower if you want to call it that. This one is a Cathy, C-A-T-H-E, and with the rivets on it, that's probably from the 50s and 60s. This one is an adorable little vase with a little red, some people would call this jelly belly, but that's technically not a jelly belly. Jelly belly is a clear lucite piece that goes in an insect or an animal as the belly of the animal. This is just a nice, well-made piece. I'm wondering if this one is even sterling. I marked one of these was sterling, and I can't remember which one it was. I tested it. This one is an adorable little Christmas tree with the AB Margarita rhinestones. I'm trying to see if they're Rivoli. They are. They kind of come to a point in the middle. Isn't this cute? Little interesting guy. It's got a small pin on the back. That's an early one. The enamel ones like this. Interesting shape. Here's a beautiful cameo. This looks like it has marcasites in it. This one I would say is sterling. Yeah, this one's marked 925. And it is real shell because see how it's curved, concave on the inside, and how the frame of the piece matches the shell piece. So this was made around the shell itself. And then they prong set it. Pretty piece. That one, I have to look up a price. I'm going to say 35 to 50. This one's a fun one. All the rhinestones are there. Just an interesting little shape. I'm going to guess 20 to 25 on that one. Of course, the bling stands out. Look at the beautiful sparkly colors of this. This one's a little newer. It's probably still 60s, maybe 70s. It does still have rivet style, which is from the 50s and 60s, so I would probably say that's from the 60s. And this is another one that's gorgeous, filled with AB rhinestones, but this one's newer. If you look at the back, you see the texture on the back. The safety clasp. See the interesting little wire there? It does still tell me it's a little older, but it's still not real old. Like I would say 60s, 70s. Here's a fun one. This was made a lot in the 40s into wartime. Looks like copper, but filled with the purple rhinestones. It's kind of unusual. That's why I picked that one up. And this is a coral fish. So I was excited to find this one. Oh, he's missing a rhinestone eye. I might have to fill that in with something. I'll go look and see what color is needed. There's the signature on the back. It has the little Pegasus, which is really hard to see. And it's really hard to see on a lot of them. It looks like a big J, but it's actually a Pegasus. Can't get a good glimpse of it. Over here we have some more fun pieces. This one is a hair piece, and it says made in France. And it's got these long dangles on it, and it looks handmade. Looks like it could be gold plated. It's got some inset rhinestones. I think it was missing one rhinestone over on the end here. But I figured it was an artisan piece and I would just take a chance on it. And when I got home, I seen that inside the clasp it says Chow. It's way down on the front piece, on this bottom piece, but it's underneath the clasp, so I can't read the first name. There is a person called, or a jewelry company called Cherry Chow, C-H-A-U. So it could be theirs. Here is Monet clip. This is new. This is the new cardstock, but it's still a real fun one. You can find these at Macy's. Sold for $35 at Macy's. Here's another fun sterling one. This one, you can't really tell on camera, but it might be pyrite. They kind of have a little bit of a gold reflection to them, more so than marcasite, which is silver toned. And this is just a plastic insert. Maybe it's glass. That I will have to check closer. Nice little pin, and it has the pendant hook, which is always good. This one's a Trifari. Trifari grapes always do fairly well. Again, maybe only 25 to 30 on that one. And, you know, never know if I'd take a lower offer. This is so pretty. These are Austrian crystals. Beautiful piece. If you like green, you'll love this piece. It's just so sparkly. It says made in Austria on the back. Here's another peridot colored one. I get a lot of these double ring ones. They don't sell real fast, but they're just so pretty, it's hard to resist. And this one, I always pick up pins that have lockets on them, hanging from them. This isn't like real old, but I just think they're cool and they sell fast. Here's a camphor glass with a porcelain rose in the center. This looks like possibly, I was going to say 1928 brand, but I don't think it is. It doesn't have the right back on it. Let's see how the glass is made. That's called camphor glass. And camphor glass in the early 1900s is a good seller. This is more of a modern piece though. They still make it. This one might be 1928 brand. Yes, that's the markings you'll see on a 1928 brand. The stamp on the gold. And porcelain rose and enamel. This one was really interesting. Don't drop it. This one's an early piece. Let me lay it down over here so you can see it without me shaking it. It is really, get some more light on it. It's just, it has some like etching on it, and I can't make out what this design is, if it's an initial, like a monogram. Let's see how they took the effort to wrap around the pin, or the front of it, I should say. And it's got a C-clasp that is handmade, so this one's early. And the pin extends past the end of the clasp. It's telling me it's probably earlier as well. Since it looks real old, I believe that That pin extending past the end makes it around 1920s, I'd say 1920s. Nice little ball on the end. This is a really cool piece. Go back over here. This piece, oh my gosh. Look at that. That's so different, so unique. I just kept thinking, is there something broke off? I think it's just an asymmetrical piece because I don't see anything broke off of it. It's just like a branch, a leaf branch with the AB crystals in it. So probably 1960s. That one's probably going to be priced higher. Like I have to do more research on it, but I'm thinking maybe 75. We'll see. This one too, beautiful purple stones, some ABs on there. Now this is an example of the pin extending past the end of the clasp, which I think this is a broken, it's a broken safety clasp, but it still works because it's just a C clasp now. But see how the rhinestones have AB rhinestones in them? They were either replaced at some point, or this is probably from the 60s and 70s. Here is an old belt buckle. I believe that these are paste stones. If you look how they're shaped, paste stones have lead crystal in them, but it's really wore. The stones are discolored, but it's still a great buckle. It's an old buckle, like probably early 1900s. And this one, it's kind of an interesting one. I don't know if I would have picked that one up again, or if I should have even picked it up in the first place. But this one, oh my gosh, how beautiful is that? It reminds me of Shriner with having somewhat of a dome shape to it, and the layers. It's not got a lot of layers, but the purple hearts are kind of set upwards from and the middle stone is set upwards. Kind of gives it that 3D effect. How beautiful is that? Now that one is not marked, and since it's not marked, I'm not going to claim that it's Shriner or any other brand, but I will probably put it at, I'll probably start it at $49.99, and we'll see where it can go from there. In this pretty pink with some little enamel tips on it. This one is a coral. Let's get some cleanup. I might try to see if I can scrape some of that yellow glue out of that flower. And here's a cute little pin with birds on a fence or on a bench. I think it's a bench. To me, this looks like coral, but it's not marked. It's just a cute little bird brooch. Let's go over here to the earrings. Has some beautiful abalone ones. These are called Anzac Sea Opals polished shell jewelry, and some turquoise, some pretty, these are probably Lisner. Let's flip them over, they're clip coral. Here's some mogul earrings. People like to pick up mogul earrings. Here's some Monet. These are interesting because they have like they're called Huggies. They just the same on the front and the back, except the back's silver, but it's really war on the back. And then the front is gold, which may not be coming across in camera. Here's some Monet earrings. Look at the screw back on this one, which makes that one pretty interesting to me. And some ginkgo, I think that's what it's called, ginkgo leaves. I love the dangle part of this one. And over here is a bracelet that has the music box on it, and it looks like it's marked Japan. The box is Japan. I sell these easily, and they probably sell. I haven't sold one in a while. I haven't found one in a while, but as soon as I list it, it sells. And I know it's at least $45. We have a nice necklace here, pretty pendant full of rhinestones and pearls, and a nice little bracelet with a pretty top, like centerpiece on it, on a cuff bracelet. And here's a bar style brooch full of rhinestones. Again, it's got AB rhinestones, so it's probably from the 60s or later. Let's look at the back. Looking at this, maybe 60s, could be 70s. This one right here, I believe, is a coral. I think that's why I picked it up, because I don't recall seeing this coral. Yes, that's what it says right on the bottom there. And ooh, it's got some scraping on the pearls, which I need to disclose. This one to me looks like a Juliana. I have not proven that. No, flip it over and you see the back clasp. Juliana did not make clasps like this V shape. Theirs are all mounted on, this is mounted on this end, this is mounted on that end. That is not the right clasp. And the back has like striping on it, so this is probably a maker who is trying to make it look like a Juliana. It's still a beautiful brooch. I would still probably sell it for $35, maybe down to $25. And look at these earrings. Art Deco, screwbacks, gorgeous ones. I just adore these. This is like my style. I love this. Beautiful pieces. And look at that open back on it. It does have some tarnishing, but that's okay. They're great earrings. I think I'm going to list them for $45. That's where I'm going to start, because I love them. Here's some pretty either Lisner or Coro Lisners clip earrings that we see a lot of, but people still like them. They still buy them. AB rhinestones, probably the 60s. Here's some more. This one's not marked. And some more right here. I believe these are marked. Yep, that's another coral. I would probably say them and these. I would list all of these at least 25 and go down to 20 on them maybe. And then these heart ones, whoops, flip it over. Purple hearts. They're so pretty. Them probably in that 25 range as well. And we have some, these are probably West Germany. Yes, West Germany. See the corrosion on this? They need to be cleaned up a little bit. You got to get that green stuff off or it affects your other jewelry. It will spread. Whoops. And this is KJL for Avon. And that always sells well for me. You can see the mark there, KJL for Avon. And they're pierced. We have some, these are Trifari, which I thought was different for Trifari. And then this pretty stone. This one reminds me of Tanzanite, but there's no way it is. Not for what I paid for them. So I just think they're beautiful. I will do rock identifier testing on them and see what they might be, what stone they might be. All right, that is the extent of my finds for the weekend. I was pretty happy with everything I found. Tell me what your favorite piece is if you remember. And we'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe.